SuperTalk TV. Today we're going to celebrate the fact that Greenwood First Presbyterian Church is gearing up for the 25th Annual Kirkin the Tartans. And if you don't know what that means, me either, but we're going to learn about it together. Joining us is Smithee. He is with the church and here to tell us a little bit more. Hey, Ray.
Hi, how are you?
I am doing well. I'll have to admit, Ray, I am today years old, as the kids would say, hearing about Kirkin the Tartans. So I feel like there's a lot here and history and things to learn. So tell us about this celebration.
All right. Well, let's start with where it comes from. And here's some facts about it. The word kirk is the Scottish word for church. And tartans, with their distinctive plaids, represent specific Scottish clans, regions, or regiments. The Kirkin of the Tartans is the presentation of a Scottish family's symbol, its tartan, at church for a blessing. After Bonnie Prince Charlie's Scottish forces were defeated by the English in 1746 in the Battle of Culloden, the wearing of tartans and the playing of bagpipes were forbidden in Scotland for many years. Wearing or displaying of tartans was punishable by death. During those years, some Scots wore concealed pieces of their tartan when they attended church. At a particular point in the worship service, they would secretly touch their hidden tartan cloth, and the minister would offer a blessing. The first formal Kirkin service in America was conducted at New York Avenue Presbyterian Church in Washington, D.C. in 1941. Beyond the particular heritage of Scotland and its people, First Presbyterian Church's Kirkin is intended to encourage all participants to reflect with thanksgiving on their own family and ethnic heritage and to celebrate God's grace poured out for all generations. And as a part of our service, we do ask members of our church to bring forward at one point in the service pieces of tartan representing their clan and laying those on our communion table for a blessing that's done during the service.
So when nobody's put to death this time, right? Like that's been...
No, we don't use the claymore swords for anything like that.
No, I think that's great. And what cool history there. What rich history to be continued to be shared. So this is something you guys look forward to annually there in Greenwood. So how many families come out for this? How many tartans will y'all have laid out from different, different clans?
Well, currently we have, as part of the procession in the worship service, which, by the way, is this Sunday. The service is at 11. There's some preliminary things that we'll talk about, too, in a moment. But in the procession, there are some flags, of course, that are carried in. It's all led by a pipe band from Memphis. We have 34 families who have purchased tartan banners. It's banners made from their clan's tartan material. So those are carried in procession. They have purchased those over the years, and we keep, every year we add to it. New families come forward and ask for, us to secure their tartan banner, and it makes for quite a nice display in the service.
Oh, I imagine. And what a unique talking point, too, for those that may, not know of the history, but at least would like to learn a little bit more, and a great way to sort of share that with everyone. So is this open to whomever would like to come and be a part of the blessing and be part of the service, Ray?
Oh, definitely. Let me run through what that day
please
looks
do.
Like. All right. So at 9:30 in our church parlor, we have a Kirkin lecture, and that is being done by our guest preacher for the day, and he is Dr. J. Ligon Duncan III, who is the chancellor of Reformed Theological Seminary in Jackson. He formerly was, for 9 years, the senior pastor at First Presbyterian in Jackson, and he's very, very knowledgeable of all things Scottish. So he will have his lecture at 9:30 in the church parlor, and then at 10:15 out on Main Street in front of the church, we will have a pipe band concert by the Memphis pipe band. They have been with us now for 3 years, and that'll last about 20 minutes or so. Then at 11 o'clock, we will gather in the sanctuary, and we will have the Kirkin of the Tartans worship service, the procession led by that pipe band.
We'll be all together. Ray, did we lose you? Oh, okay. There you go. And I think that's what kind of makes it special, too, to have them come down from Memphis. It's a completely unique sound if no one's sort of heard that. That alone would be worth coming out and sort of being a part of.
And they are wonderful. They're an outstanding group. They play very well. And there is something, it's just very stirring to hear the pipes in the morning. Even if you don't think you have some Scott in you, it touches you somehow.
So I guess I'm showing how little I know about the First Presbyterian Church, Ray. So is that all Scottish heritage? Like, are Presbyterians all from Scottish heritage?
Well, yes. Actually, the Presbyterian Church in America comes out of Scotland. So it's also a celebration of the Scottish Presbyterian heritage. And, the South, by and large, was settled by people of Scottish and Irish descent. So it's hard to find someone in this part of the world that doesn't have a Scottish relative somewhere in their ancestry.
So you're saying we all have a tartan?
Excuse me?
So we all have a tartan if we looked hard enough?
You can probably have a tartan if you look hard enough. And there are tartans for people who don't have Scottish ancestry. We have a few who just chose a tartan to use, and that's fine too. There's no hard, fast rules about it. Oh, I would say, too, you might find this interesting. At our luncheon every year, we have a kilt election between two of our gentlemen, and one or the other, and sometimes both, depending on how much funds are collected, they will receive a kilt for themselves to wear the following year. And we probably have now about, I want to say close to 40 of our gentlemen in the church who have kilts, and they will wear them on this day.
What an interesting, such an interesting thing, and it's been going on for the last 25 years there, Ray. I feel like this is kind of a best-kept secret there in Greenwood. I mean, not to come out and to me, it would just be full of interest and curiosity and sort of learning about the heritage or the culture, or sort of also getting to know these families that are within my community, because you guys are, right there in Greenwood having services every weekend, just not all the time do you have the pipe band or pull out the kilts.
Right. This is a very special time once a year, and it's always a lot of fun. One other thing we do every year, we recognize a family in the church as the honored family, and generally, they will have Scottish ties and often rather deep roots up here in the Delta.
What about?
And this year, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, what about Scottish food? Church in the South, we're all about that potluck. So,
well, there is a luncheon afterwards, but nobody really is a fan of haggis, so it's pretty standard fare.
That's fair.
Regard.
Yeah.
Yeah, those internal organ meats, that's kind of dicey.
I don't know. Some of us like our chitlins and all the other things around here, but we just call them different things right here in the South.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Well, if folks are interested in learning more, or maybe coming to this service, which is special, this is coming up this weekend, or maybe any services that you guys have there at First Presbyterian Church in Greenwood, where exactly are y'all located, and then how can they find out more?
We are downtown at the corner of Washington and Main Street.
Okay. And can they go online to find out more?
Yes, they can. And that would be at firstgreenwood.net.
All righty. Well, Ray, I'm wishing y'all the best weekend for your 25th Annual Kirkin of the Tartans. I learned how to say it correctly. And I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you having us.
All righty. You guys stick with us. We got more for you coming.